Hi, Sean.
Hi, Jack.
Okay?
I'm good, thank you.
Yeah.
Do you remember in the last episode
Mm.
I gave you that little stat from science?
Yes. Remind me what it was.
That
The TV shows dogs like.
TV shows,
and they have
yeah.
a favourite genre.
They have a
favourite
particular genre. Thank you, Sarah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So got another one here from the same source. Says a study. You're not going to like this, guys. A study found that 82% of dogs do not like being hugged.
Oh.
Oh, again, I'll just sort of put it out there. Who are these people doing the studies and why are they wasting their lives?
That was written by a cat.
Yeah. I think you're probably right, Sarah. I think that was the ridiculous statement. You can't substantiate it. You can't quantify it. You can't measure it in any meaningful sense.
No.
It's just someone whose dog doesn't like him thought he'd put out a thing. That's what it was.
Yeah. Well, actually, science says that they don't like it. It's nothing to do with me.
No, it's not. Your dog doesn't like you because you're a weirdo.
Juniper will come over to me and nudge me for a hug.
Yes,
So,
of course. Yeah, totally. That's how it should be. That's how it should be. It's all the same.
But I'm glad we cleared that up. I'm going to chuck
where
more
have
of these.
Where have you been finding these nuggets, Sean? Where have you?
These are just on Instagram because my algorithm knows that I like dogs, so it's chucking me these facts.
I get much funnier stuff on Instagram, though, don't you? I mean, do you get funny stuff as well as serious stuff about? I
have no interest in funny stuff, Jack.
You just go on Instagram to be depressed. Not even my dog likes me anymore.
What's your algorithm then? How much time are you spending on it? I
never look at it. I don't look at Instagram unless I go on to review and accept the stuff that Sarah puts on for us, and I have to do that.
Well
so otherwise, my agent puts all the other stuff on Instagram for me. So that's
very wise.
It means I have to go on it because you get lost on that thing.
Yes, the doom scrolling. But I did see you. I'm sure. All of our listeners follow you on Instagram, and I did see you whining about, and rightly so, about these bottles of water that we're all on
yes.
at the moment.
Yeah.
I've thought immediately of myself having bought this the other day. It's ridiculous. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
And also with those ones, because we think we're doing the right thing by buying look at him with his little bottle. Showing us how it works. All right, yeah.
He's going to choke now.
See?
Do you want to guess how much this is?
Oh, they're quite expensive, aren't they? $8.99 or something?
They normally are. Sarah?
Yeah, 10 quid.
Primark, £2.50. Thank you very much.
Lovely.
There you go.
Okay, so let's see how many weeks that lasts you, that bottle, because it's meant to last, it'll last you 2 weeks at the most, and then the top will get lost or something. I know this is what happens.
Yeah,
got a whole cupboard full of tops and bottles that don't match up.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Look, the lid has gone on this one. This is another one. See. The lid has gone.
Sean sensibly holding it upside down above his keyboard just to demonstrate that there's no water in it. That was a risky strategy.
Here's just stuff that I buy online. Sorry, we've got a bit off topic, but I'm such a mug. I'm such a mug for So, Jack, you don't use it that much. You might not be aware of this, but Instagram finds out what you like, and it pushes adverts towards you.
That's it. Yeah,
So, for example, earlier on today, we were talking, and I told you that my lower back,
yes,
I've had problems with my lower back. It will then feed me things for my lower back to try and help me with my lower back. And I'm such a mug. I'll buy anything. Look at this.
You've got so much laundry in the background, Sean. What is he taking in ironing now or something?
It's terrible. This is a thing. I honestly thought I was going to use this, Jack. This is an exercise, an all-in-one exercise strap that you could bring with you on the road in hotel rooms. Because I honestly thought that I was going to wake up before a show and you step on it and then you kind of put it up.
Yeah.
Like this, look.
That's what trousers are for.
This one. Look, I bought this as well.
Oh no!
This is to straighten your back. So I can stretch my back and walk around the...
Yeah, I can see that working. Yeah.
It's just such a waste. I'm such a mug.
Yeah.
Such a mug. There you go.
This has turned into QVC.
It has a very bad version of QVC.
Oh, what's that? Hang on, what's that? Wait. Oh, that's just best show. Sorry, didn't mean to pick that up. Was that an award for best show? I didn't mean to pick that.
It is. Yeah.
What's that doing? That's
Another
embarrassing.
thing you bought, you had that made.
Yeah. Oh, there we go.
So tell us about the award. What's this award? I heard you. I heard you won an award, Sean. Is that right? What was it?
Yeah, finally. So, I do have something I wanted to tell you about. Obviously, we had that break where we didn't record for a while. And I forgot that this had happened, and I remembered, and I wanted to know if either Dolly or... I don't think Juniper would have had this, because I think you would have told us about this, Sarah. But during the spell of heat, where it was, awfully hot, and you just could... I think there were a couple of days, actually, where Mildred didn't get out at all. I felt very guilty, so I went to the pet shop to get some, toys and treats to try and keep her entertained indoors. And found these, they weren't bones, but they kind of look like bones. They're a chew. I don't know what they're made of. Sometimes I think they're like I think we talked about this on here before. They're like a bull's...
Or right,
nether regions,
or a hide of some sort, or
yeah. And so I give it to Mildred, and she's very excited, and she runs off with it. She runs off. I love it when I give her a treat or something. She runs off. She's so excited. She just wants to find her own little space and have fun with it. But I noticed that she wasn't really chewing it, and she was just an hour or so later. She was still just walking around with this thing in her mouth, just kind of showing everyone. Yeah. This is my toy.
Yeah.
So it's quite odd. And then I went to grab it, and the gums came out, and the teeth.
Oh, really?
Oh.
Like this, yeah. And it was, I know, really aggressive. Now, we've had, and I recognised it immediately, because an event that happened a couple of years ago, me and Grace went to a steak restaurant. Bear with me. We went to a steak restaurant, and we got one of those big steaks that come with the bone, and we thought, oh, Mildred will like that. We'll actually take that back. Do you mind putting that in a bag? We'll take that back for our dog. So we gave her this big, bone, and it's got a bit of meat on it. And again, the same thing happened. When I went to, grab it to put it in the bin, the gums come out, the teeth came out. And it's called, we looked it up, and it's called food aggression.
Mm-hmm.
And if your dog has something that they really particularly love and have just immediately become attached to, because it's so good that they can become extremely, extremely aggressive. Grace went to charge. She didn't realise Mildred was under the bed. Mm-hmm. Mildred was under the bed. Grace put her arm underneath the bed to grab the end of the cable for her charger.
Yeah.
Mildred thought she was going for the...
Oh, no.
Yeah. Like that. And so she got the toy banned. Mildred wasn't allowed the toy. Had to take the toy and get rid of it.
Wow. Oh, right.
Yeah, it's a real thing. Food aggression. And it says if your dog has this, you're not allowed to give them. It can be very dangerous. If you have children and your dog gets food aggression, you have to be really careful. So if you still want your dog to have the chew or the toy, you have to give it to them when you leave the house, and then get it back when you're home. But it was crazy seeing this other side. I mean, it was demonic.
Yeah.
So it was like that bit in Finding Nemo where that big friendly shark called Barry, I think, the Aussie shark. It's really friendly, and then it sniffs the blood and its eyes roll black.
Yeah.
It was just like that.
Yeah,
it was a completely different dog. Mildred was gone.
Okay.
I thought you were going to reference Ghostbusters then.
What, Zuul?
Yeah.
That's what me and Grace called her. That's so funny you say that. Dana Barrett gets in Ghostbusters. Sorry, I'm mumbling now, but Dana Barrett gets possessed by a thing called Zuul, and that's what we were
fridge.
Yeah, in a fridge. So Mildred. So we were calling Mildred Zuul.
So you're going to have to, but it's good, but it's a good learning opportunity for Wilder. Probably Casper's too young to kind of benefit from that at the moment, but for Wilder to know, look, this is what she's going to, this is how she can be. It's good for her to be aware, isn't it?
Yes, but it's good for us to be aware that, you know, you forget because we love Mildred and Mildred is an extremely friendly dog and all of those things. But yeah, Mildred does get food aggression. So you've got to make sure that when we bring back a chew, that she's not so attached to it that she will show you her
I wonder what
teeth.
this is then, because if sometimes we will give Juniper one of her treats and it'll be something long and she will walk off with it and then she'll start doing this sort of crying noise. She's like, and it's because she can't find somewhere to hide it. So I have to say to her, come on, why don't you put it behind this cushion? And I'm suggesting areas for her to hide this thing. And it does make us laugh a bit because it's like, why are you upset? You've got this lovely thing. Yeah. But it's kind of the opposite where she's not aggressive with it. She's worried about this treat not having a little space to hide in.
Well, it's funny, isn't it, how they react. Dolly gets these treats that she particularly loves, and she'll always take, like, because I've got Nelly with us at the moment as well. You know, I've given both a treat at the same time. Of course, Nelly, being a French bulldog, it's just gone. You know, she'll just gobble it down. Whereas Dolly will sort of take it very delicately in her mouth and then trot off with it. Usually gets onto our bed and sits there with it. And you can go out half an hour later, it'll still be there in front of her and she's just looking at it, enjoying it. But we sometimes will tease her and try and take it from her, and then she'll put her paw on top of your hand as you try to get it. No, you don't. Get off it. It's mine. So it's a very Dolly version of food aggression. Is just she just slaps your hand away.
But yeah, if our listeners have any stories or anything of note or any advice,
interesting area. Yeah.
Oh, Mildred was just down there, got under the bed to have a nap. But yeah, please get in touch and leave us a voice note or send us a message and let us know about your dog's food aggression.
Yeah, it's good to hear from everyone wherever you are. We've got an email here from Amy Elliott, who has emailed us from New Zealand, and she's just an email as a long-time listener from New Zealand about funny things your dogs have eaten. We have two Dachshunds, a long-haired mini called Daisy and a short-haired mini called Boris. There they are, gorgeous. Oh, lovely-looking dogs.
Yeah, very sweet.
And so we relate so much with Sarah and Juniper. Anyway, when Boris was still a puppy, he snuck into our bedroom, noticing he was being very quiet. He had got onto the bed to then reach over to the bedside cabinet where my husband's Apple AirPods were not in the case. Lo and behold, there was only one AirPod left, a little soggy, and the other still connected in Boris. So Boris had eaten one of the AirPods, basically, but it was still connected. It did eventually come out in the natural way, she very delicately puts.
Oh my God!
In a few parts, and Boris was totally fine. Needless to say, hubby now puts the AirPods back in the case. Love the pod and makes me chuckle on travels around New Zealand. Love Amy Elliott. Thank you, Amy. Good story there. So I think that's entirely your husband's fault, I have to say. I have no sympathy. Because they look like little biscuits, don't they? Little chews. I mean, any dog. I think I might want to put an AirPod in my mouth if I might be tempted.
But you know, what's interesting about that is the AirPods have the Find My capabilities.
Oh.
So you could lose your dog. Yeah. And then use Find My AirPods and you'd be able to track where Boris is.
Yes, I've done Find My AirPods. Apparently they're up your dog's arse. I wonder if there's any truth in that. Yeah. That's a good one. I think we've had lots of weird things that our dogs have eaten, but that's right up there. That is a good one.
Just quickly, I actually looked into, these AirTags. Everyone's always telling me that I need to get an AirTag for all of the things that I lose, and when I can't find my car, which is all too common. And people have said get an AirTag. But I looked up, are AirTags any good for your dog? I looked that up. You can attach an AirTag, attach the AirTag to the dog's collar, and it's not recommended.
Why?
Right.
Why not? Come on! Don't
see,
say you weren't inquisitive enough to find out why not.
Just left it there.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. It's not that. It's I can't remember. I can't.
It must be something.
What terrible podcasting! I literally just can't remember.
It must be something to do with the connectivity. It must be.
I hope. Yeah, let's go with that. Sure.
Well, quite. Yeah. I've seen dogs with harnesses and collars that have got special little spaces for the AirTag to go, actually built into the collar. So
let's have a go. Let me just. Why aren't Apple AirTags recommended for dogs?
Sean isn't asking us. He's talking to his phone at the moment.
Apple doesn't recommend using AirTags on pets, mainly because they weren't designed for trapping animals. They're more for items like keys or bags. Plus, the collar could fall off, or it might not give real-time location like a dedicated pet tracker would. So it's more of a safety and reliability thing.
So what? Honestly, you can...
She doesn't sound sure.
Yeah.
No, I know.
I think she's forgotten. She's making that up.
Makes sense. It's always better.
I'm sorry. I can't get her off. There we go.
I don't know. I don't know about that. Just because it wasn't invented for that purpose. You can put them on all sorts of things they're not invented for, can't you? Just things you don't want to lose. That's what they're invented for.
Totally. I mean, AirPods aren't designed for going up dogs' bottoms.
No, they're quite. Yeah.
We don't recommend that.
In New Zealand, that's the way it goes, you see.
That's how people listen to their music.
Yeah.
Okay, yes. Do we have another email? Sorry, I was going to try and look up a more substantial reason as to why you can't use AirTags with dogs.
I think we can leave it there. I think we are right. You can, and we don't need to worry any more about that. Unless people actually do know better and can write in and tell us or send us a voice note. That'd be good. Yeah. Do you want to read the next one?
I will. Where are we? Here we are. Yes. Okay. So, dear dogs and dog casters, thank you for your podcast, which I love. I have a ginger version of Dolly, Gladys. Oh, I love the name Gladys.
Mm-hmm.
Great name. A 10-year-old tiny long-haired Chihuahua who, one, insists on walking behind me on the lead and veering into the middle of the road. Apparently it's something to do with them once being used to herd cattle, which I would pay good money to see. Hides behind the sofa to avoid a walk, then when fished out, climbs into the nearest receptacle in the hope of being carried. She's wiggled her way into shopping bags, golf clubs, a large packet of crisps. Usually she's made to walk, but she has her own bag, which is useful for winding people up. But apparently people say they can walk, to her. Do you get that, Jack, when you've got Dolly in the bag?
All the time. It's just, I've told you I get that. Quite often from the same person.
Oh, okay. People wind them up and freak them out when the bag starts woofing. Another quote is, "It's always the little ones." Also, Dolly, the ginger version, has to be forcibly tipped out of her bag at the park, yet later refuses to get back in again, exposing me to the comment, "They can walk, Number 4, lots here, adopts the next to not on lap approach. Supposedly short-haired Chihuahuas sit on laps and long-haired ones next to laps. Okay, didn't know that. Yeah. Gladys likes to be wedged up against my thigh. Apparently it's something to do with them once being used as Mexican hot water bottles.
Well, what is it? Is it a cattle dog or a hot water bottle? We got to...
This is because we asked for people to talk about their Chihuahuas because we wanted to compare to Dolly.
It's lovely, it's lovely to hear. It's lovely to hear.
Thank you very much.
And
I have a little video to show you of Gladys.
Sweet.
What she looks like in her bag. And it's a really quick one, so I'll just play it to you.
Oh, that's hilarious. Look at that. She's keeping wedged right in and keeping silent and quiet. That's hilarious. That's thank you for sending all that in, Claire. That's I can see the very quite a likeness there with Dolly as well, and certainly in behaviour as well. And it never occurred to me, but she does. Dolly actually does this when we're walking a country lane. She tends to want to be in the middle of the lane, which is weird. So who knows? There could be some truth in there that they have this kind of, atavistic tendency to follow what they were naturally meant to do, which is herd cattle.
Yes.
I don't know if that is true. It sounds like you don't know either, but it's also Dolly will do this. She'll come over to me and lie down next to my thigh. So that's a really strange thing that she'll do that with me. And maybe they have this thing that they were kind of bred to keep their owners warm. I don't know.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
And most crucially, what's a Mexican hot water bottle?
Well, it's probably just a hot water bottle from Mexico, but it's but there is a place in Mexico called Chihuahua. There's a town called Chihuahua.
Okay. Is the Chihuahua named after that, or is the place named after the dog?
Oh, that's a good question. I'm sure it's the dog after the dog. Yeah. I think the dogs are named after the town they came from. Well, okay, so you've actually Googled Mexican hot water bottles. Well, there's but basically it's a hot water bottle with a sort of ethnic print on it.
It's not quite worked. Never mind.
Very good. Good messages.
Very good. Now, our guest this week, very excited to have him on. Dom Joly is an award-winning comedian, author, and professional mischief maker, best known for the legendary Trigger Happy TV, the cult hidden camera show that made him a household name in the early 2000s. Since then, he's written best-selling travel books, taken part in shows like I'm a Celebrity, taught his stand-up across the UK, and become a much-loved podcaster and columnist. He's also bringing Trigger Happy TV to the stage in October, but we don't want to hear all about Dom's amazing achievements. We want to get to know him through his dogs.
So, he talked quite a lot on the show about dog food and feeding your dog.
Yes, the right things to cook your dog. Sarah, you're actually cooking
I've been,
Juniper food at the moment, yes.
Sarah has had a bit of a nightmare with Juniper, haven't you? She's been turning her nose up at a lot of stuff, not just your cooking, but other other dog food brands. Sean, I told Sarah to try Pure pet food. It's made in Yorkshire with natural ingredients, and it's dried, so you just have to add water to bring it back to life or activate it, as I would say.
Activate it. Did they use the word activate it?
They don't. I put activate in. Because
okay.
It sounds more official.
It does. Very snazzy.
And it's good, because they personalize it for all kinds of needs for your dogs. If you've got dogs with kidney issues or a whole range of different problems that they address.
Well, I know about this because it's actually backed by the Yorkshire vet, Julian Norton.
Yeah.
There's no weird fillers in it.
No.
Very healthy, it's convenient, and dare I say, it tastes better as well.
It does. And, if Sean has tasted it and likes it, well, we know that's we're onto a good thing for your dog, aren't you? But here is the clincher, everyone. They're giving our wonderful listeners, all of you, 40% off your first box. It's not just a discount. That's like your dog winning the lottery.
Yeah. Yeah, the dog will be very happy.
Yeah.
Maybe you could sing to your dog. You could just sing a little dog song.
Yeah.
Use a purepetfood.com.
Is this your idea of a jingle?
Yeah.
Wow.
This is it.
We'll talk about that.
Purepetfood.com. Oh, you come here, I'll give you the purepetfood.com. Come here, I'll give you the pure pet.
So head to purepetfood.com/ohmydog and treat your dog to something proper. Thank you for joining us. How are you?
Can I just say how excited I am to meet you, Jack D? I've been to see you so many times in my youth.
Oh, my word. Oh, goodness. Thank you. Thank you very much.
And I'm a massive fan. Obviously, Sean, I think you're funny. But, Jack, I am genuinely really, really excited.
Yeah. See, he's just humouring you, Sean. He didn't mean that. It was like...
Well, the thing is, Sean's coming on my speakeasy in August, so I'm going to have to really suck up to him then. So I'm going to kind of work on you, Jack, for the
moment. Now, Dom, you've got two black labs, Truman and Fitzgerald.
I do. They're actually in my... Fiddy, you want to say hello?
I can see.
There's Fitz.
Sweet.
And Truman's on the floor, but he's recovering. Thank God we didn't do this last week when we were supposed to, because he had to go in for an operation, and it became quite a big.
Well, we heard all about
operation.
it, Dom. So, first of all, Truman, he had a hernia that you thought you were having treated, and then something slightly more worrying occurred. What happened?
Yeah, so my wife is very keen on castration, like with me, with dogs, with everything. The sort of solution to everything is, if there's anything vaguely problematic, just cut the balls off. And I've had dogs all my life, and we've never, ever, like, cut the balls off. Because I just feel, I don't know, it just feels wrong. But in this case, it turns out, I don't know how much I can say here, but Truman has always been fertile, shall we say. And there's a lot of stains everywhere on sofas and everything. And so Stacey kept saying, like, we've got to cut his balls off. I go, you just can't. It's just the way he is. But actually, in this case, it turned out she was completely correct. And that was a sign that he was quite hormonal and actually hernia, which is a kind of, I don't know, it always sounds like a very unsexy thing to have a hernia, but that was part of this. And so, anyway, long story short, he had a massive bump below his tail, was getting bigger and bigger. I worried it was cancer, took it in, and they said, no, we're going to have to take it out. And while they were there, Stacey obviously said, take the balls off, because that's just the way she is. And thank God she did, because he had cancer in them. So this has really kicked off with a good, happy story, this. But,
it has. But, well, it is kind of happy to have discovered it, at least, you know. And
it is, but he hasn't got any balls now, so I don't know.
And
where's this leave us?
You also know now never to let your wife take you to the doctor.
Oh, my God, trust me with that. Every time I'm in there, she's at the window just going,
So Howard, Truman and Fitzgerald, how did you come about these dogs?
So I've always had dogs, but Truman and Fitzgerald, I had a very brief embarrassing period when I was living in London around Trigger Happy Time where I had cats, for which I must apologise.
Oh, well.
I don't trust cats. I really don't. In fact, I think I nicked your joke, Jack, from a long time ago, which is dogs follow you around just saying, I love you, whereas cats are just like, fuck off, which I love. And it's true. But then when I moved to the country, I was living in All Saints off Portobello, and I thought, because I'd got quite famous then, and I thought, oh, I've got to get out of the country, get out of London. I'm being hassled. And of course, what I didn't realise is the moment you go to the country, the only place you're anonymous is a city. The moment you go to a country, like the whole village knows what you're doing. And it was just a total nightmare. But anyway, I moved down, and the idea was I was going to move down for 6 months, and while I was doing my place up in London, then I was going to move back. But while I was down in the country, I got a black Labrador who was called Huxley, who is still the greatest dog I've ever owned. And then ended up staying in the Cotswolds. And so I had him for a long time. And then he died, and suddenly found myself with 3 more dogs. I got 2 more labs, and I got another dog who unfortunately died very quickly. But I've still got my 2 dogs.
Yeah, so you say you're
trying to cheer this up. I'm really sorry, but it's not good.
It's good. We'll get there. We'll get to the light stuff in a minute. But so you say you found yourself with these dogs. Did you just go out and get them?
One was a rescue. Yeah. So I've got a long history with rescues. My sister, who lives in Lebanon, runs a massive dog rescue home. Basically, one of the problems with growing up in Lebanon was the Lebanese are actually not bad with dogs compared to a lot of the Middle East, but still, you see a lot of animals and dogs on the side of the road and stuff. And my sisters were almost worse than me. Like, if she sees a dog, she just has to grab it. I don't mean she steals them, but, they're there. And people started bringing her more and more dogs. So just at home, she has 12 dogs.
Wow.
But she has this, it's actually quite a good way of, if you want to understand the Lebanese political system, she has dogs. She has, like, some dogs that can only be outside, some can be inside, some can be in a room with the cats. It's a very complicated peace agreement that actually is a really good metaphor for Lebanon. But yes, and then she started getting all these dogs. So she set up a thing called Beta, which is, I can't remember what it stands for, but something Beirut. Basically, she has this massive thing that she pays for. And when you go there, it's just terrible. There's like 800 dogs all turn up, look their best because they're waiting to be adopted and sent off to Canada or places like that. So, yeah, so we're big into dogs, we're big into rescue. So I got one from a rescue, and then 2 people just had Labrador puppies about the same time. One was a working Labrador. So I've taken, that's Truman, who literally has never done a day's work in his life. I think would not have made it in the working world sort of thing. I think he's a bit of an aesthete.
Yes. It's one of my slight pet annoyances when you ask someone what breed their dog is, and they'll say it's a working cocker. You think, what work does that dog do? Come on, that's not.
No work ever.
They're not.
I can assure you my dogs have done not a day's work ever, and they're very happy about it.
Good for you for being honest to that. I'm just quickly, It's a trivial question in a way, but where do the names come from, Truman and Fitzgerald? I was thinking it was American presidents, but then there's no President Fitzgerald that I know of, is there?
Well, there is actually, because Jack Kennedy's middle name was Fitzgerald. But
okay, all right.
But the clue was in the first dog, which was Huxley. So we have loads of pets. So I had pigs, I had cats, I had dogs, and so we try and stratify them. So my cats were always professions: Dr. Pepper, Colonel Mustard, Professor Plum. Dogs are always writers.
Okay.
Sorry, you had a pet pig?
Yeah. Again, my wife went to a book club, and there was in the garden there was a Wendy house, and it was just being ripped apart by quite a savage small pig. And basically, this is all Paris Hilton's fault. Someone bought something they thought was a micro pig. There's no such thing as a micro pig. It's just a baby pig, and then it becomes a big pig. And we were on a. It's absolutely true. So we're on a farm, and so Stacey just brought back a pig, and it got very weird because it would we had an Aga, because that's how we roll, and the pig would be lying underneath the Aga while my boy was cooking a bacon sandwich. There was so many weird shit going on, and then people started bringing me pigs. He'll take pigs. I've got so many pig stories, but my favourite one is this. Do you remember when David Cameron famously, the story came out that supposedly he shagged a pig's head or whatever?
Yeah.
That was in the ether. And all three of my pigs escaped from my farm, and I don't know where they were going. They were going in a procession towards Cheltenham for a pub run or something. And we chased them. We got two of them, but one of them got away, Wilbur. And finally, we found him in a field. And so I go into the field, and I grabbed him, and I'm wrestling with him. And a peloton of cyclists went past the field. And they look in, and there's Dom Joly wrestling with a pig in the field. And you can see him thinking, fucking hell, they were all at it. But sorry to get piggist.
No, it's okay. So Labradors as a breed, how would you define them? Are they clever? Are they playful, greedy? Generally, how do you find Labradors?
I think they're the perfect dog. I mean, having had pigs, weirdly, I think they're incredibly smart. But having had pigs, they're thick as pig shit, frankly, compared to pigs. Pigs are incredibly smart. But they are very smart. I think they're the perfect dog in that they literally you can do no wrong. It's your joke. They just follow me around, staring at me, telling me that I'm brilliant. And trust me, I need that. So that's really good. They're incredibly sweet. They're brilliant with kids. The only problem with Labradors is I don't know if this is a medical fact, but I've heard this. They literally have no off switch with food. So if you just opened a big tub of food, mine would both just eat themselves to death.
Okay.
They just have they need Ozempic, basically.
They can't stop. So quite easy for them to put on weight, are they, would you say, if you're not careful? Yeah.
Yes, and the worst thing I see are big fat Labradors kind of being dragged around Cheltenham.
Yeah.
Actually, mine are both quite, unlike myself. Look, do you want to show, Fiddy, do you want to see what, they're in prime specimens. They're pretty good for their age. They're 12 and 10. They can't be asked to move, obviously, at the moment. But
No, brilliant.
What's your routine with them, Dom? Are you up early, taking them for a big walk, a couple of walks
Sean,
a day?
3 a.m. I'm up for the first walk. Yeah, no, I take them out in the square in the morning. I live on a square in Cheltenham because that's how I roll. And they go out there, and that's nice. And then we go on an hour, 2-hour walk pretty much every day. We're really lucky in Cheltenham. We've got this kind of hill at the top, which looks a bit like a Scottish moor. So they they love it. But they need a lot of exercise because they're big dogs.
Yeah.
You have to keep them on the lead.
No, I'm terrible.
How well trained are they?
No, they're just not trained at all. And I'm the worst dog owner. They're completely off the lead. They run. I mean, they don't savage anyone. The worst thing they do is go and hug people and stuff. Some people do get angry, but they've never caused any problem. But no, I just let them run.
Lovely.
Yeah. So when you're away on work and stuff like that, who takes over, and do they miss you or you miss them? What goes on?
So my wife looks after them. She loves the dogs, but she's less keen on taking them for walks because she's Canadian. So obviously she insists on putting them on a lead. And then literally she's tiny. So she just gets dragged around like some weird Inuit on a sled all around Cheltenham.
So I was wondering, do you let the dog... Well, you can see they're on the furniture there.
Oh, God,
where are
everywhere.
they sleeping? Where are Truman and Fitzgerald sleeping?
We have a massive bed, and they always slept on bed with us. But when we came here, so we moved into this townhouse, and it's kind of thin and tall. So at the top is our bedroom. And Stacey said, that's it. The moment we get into this new house, just that, because they're black hair and they get hair everywhere and stuff. It's the top floor will be ours. Dogs are not allowed in there.
Yeah.
that night, they literally smashed through the door and they've been on the bed every night. So I wake up every morning and there's just 2 dog heads and then Stacey. There's like, we just lie in a row. It's really good.
I've always found with our dogs when we've had new dogs in the past, and I've said, look, let's try not to do this again. Let's have them. They can sleep in the basket in the kitchen like a normal dog. And Jane always goes along with it until the first night I'm away. And then I come back and it's all changed and the dogs are in the bed and
you're in the basket.
I'm in the basket in the kitchen, more or less. Yeah, that's it.
I think Stacey would be very happy with me in a cage in the kitchen, actually, to be honest.
Truman and Fitzgerald, did you get them together, Dom?
No, so they're about 1.5 years apart, and people think they're brothers because they've got sort of matching collars, which is a bit naff, but, and they're very different. Truman's a bit slighter. Fitzgerald's definitely an alpha dog, but weirdly, Fitzgerald is a complete aesthete. Like he's never fetched a ball in his life, no interest whatsoever. You can throw anything. Right. He just looks at you like, what? And he just stares at trees and stuff, and I think he's a poet. Whereas Truman literally has to have something in his mouth all the time. So he's like constantly chasing stuff. When we go around Cheltenham, he has about 15 secret places where he actually stores balls and sticks. So he can always be near one there. And whenever you come into the house, he'll run away, get a sock and come back.
Yeah.
And apparently I was told that's when they get so excited, they sort of have to displace themselves. And I think that's it. Or he's just really into socks.
Yeah, or it feels sometimes with
Mildred
dogs like that.
My cockapoo.
Yeah, sorry, go on, Sean, what?
No, I was just sorry, Jack. I was just saying Mildred is the same when I get home. Yeah. She grabs something and then she kind of exhibits it to me. Going, look, I've got whatever it is. I've got your hat.
Yeah.
But look. I used to think it was like, listen, at no stage have I ever asked for a hat. You don't need to do that. But it is more they kind of need to busy themselves, I think.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I like the idea that they're actually bringing you something to say how pleased they are that you're there. That's like, look, here, have this. Yeah. It's a sock. It's for you.
Yeah. Rather than just saying, look, I've fucked up your sock drawer again.
So I can see that they're allowed everywhere. The question we always finish on with all our guests, Dom, is do you let Truman and Fitzgerald kiss you on the mouth?
Oh, yeah, full tons.
Okay.
100%. Absolute full French kissing. I did a scene for a documentary when I was going off to Syria like years ago, and the joke was we were all saying goodbye on the front door, and I was like, I just shook my kids' hands and said, "You're off to boarding school, so I'll see you when you're 18." I shook my wife's hand and then literally just French kissed Huxley for about a minute. I've never, ever had more complaints than anything. But it still made me laugh. And I showed my kids are now 20 and 25. I showed them that the other day. They were just so horrified by the whole thing.
I'll just go off piste very quickly because I'm curious to know that you're taking Trigger Happy TV to turning it into a stage version. How's that going to work and where can we see it?
Oh, I'm really glad you asked that, Jack, because I haven't got a clue how to do it. Firstly, don't worry, it's not like Trigger Happy the musical, and it's not really on tour. It's just that when Trigger Happy happened, it was my first comedy, and probably my last, some would say, comedy show. And I just didn't really enjoy it at the time because I did enjoy it, but it was such a maelstrom from making this thing to it going mental and then being hurled out of show business after I was fired from the BBC. I kind of didn't really enjoy it. And suddenly I thought, God, it was 25 years ago. And so we did a retrospective. Someone else did, not me, because that would be weird. And they showed a couple of eps with a whole lot of fans. And it was amazing watching it in a group of people. And it's still really held up. And it really worked. And so I thought it's the 25th anniversary. I'm still proud of it. I'd love an opportunity to kind of look back at it. And so I got back together with Sam, who I made Trigger Happy with, who went off to LA to be a Ponzi director. And he'd kept a lot of the rushes. And so we found rushes of the pilot ep, which is just insane. The very first thing we ever filmed for Trigger Happy was we tried to get a Womble costume, but we couldn't because of copyright. So we ended up with a shit costume, which was called a Wimble, which looked like nothing. And the joke was a Womble having a nervous breakdown on Wimbledon Common and littering and swearing at children. And so we've got all the rushes for that very first thing with me turning to Sam going, is this funny? So there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah.
And then we're also just going to show some classic clips because people laugh at it and then talk about what went wrong and what didn't. And then some of the characters are going to make an appearance. So the traffic warden, for instance, has now gone absolutely mental with Ulez. He's like Sadiq Khan is his absolute god figure. Ulez has just been a cash cow for him. So he's doing a charity clamping where he's going to try and quadra-clamp me a day for 365 days, that kind of stuff. And then lots of stuff happening in the audience. So there's four big shows in October in London, Birmingham, Manchester and Glasgow, with a big preview in Southampton. And then that would probably be it. Right. But it'd just be really fun to do it.
Well, it sounds fantastic, and it's one of my favourite comedies of all time. So,
thank you, Sean. That means a lot.
Good luck with it. Yes.
Thank you.
I mean it.
You know how much I love Jack.
Yes. Yes, you made that very clear.
No.
Yes.
No.
Look, best of luck with that. Thank you so much for joining us, Dom. We look forward to hearing how things go in the future, and maybe come back and tell us how it all goes. Thanks for joining us, Dom.
Thanks very much.
Appreciate it.
See you.
Dom Joly for you. Fantastic, interesting guest, and always interesting to hear from Labrador owners. Fred Macaulay, I think, was our last big Labrador owner, wasn't he? He's massively into his Labradors, and we've had a couple of others, but Dom obviously very, very keen on the breed, and nice to hear.
And clearly loved his dogs. Has always had dogs. Had a spell with cats. You had a spell with cats, didn't you?
We had a cat. We adopted a cat before Jane and I were married, and this little cat came and lived with us. We lived in Redcliffe Gardens in Earl's Court, and this cat just came into our flat one day and just lived with us. And then we adopted it because no one claimed it. And and he lived with us for ages and ages. We had him for probably about 10 years, and it was called Poppet. And he actually died in my arms. He had a heart attack, and I thought I picked him up, and the little thing kind of died in my arms. And it's quite a strange feeling that was, because I kind of knew he'd gone, and it was really weird. You just know he's not there anymore. So. Yeah, it was sad. He was a really nice cat, and he had lots of dog-like tendencies as well, which was nice. He'll come and greet you when he come in, and so he'd like to go up the road and sunbathe. And there was an old lady up the road, our neighbour, who used to pick him up and bring him home to us all the time. And she'd say, I found he was sitting outside my house, and I know he's very old, and I thought I'd bring him home in case he got lost. And I said, oh, thank you very much. You had to be patient every time she did this. And then one day we had we had someone who was working for us to help with the kids, who we sort of based Magda on from Lead Balloon. Do you remember that character in Lead Balloon?
Amazing.
And so she opened the door, and this old lady, I was listening, and the old lady said, I brought Puppet home because he was up the road, and I was worried he'd get lost and couldn't find his way home. And she took him and said, but why? Because you're old and you'll find your way home. And she never brought Poppet back again.
Oh no! Well, that's great.
Well, thank you all for listening to My Dog. We hope you're enjoying taking a deep dive with us into our love of dogs.
And we're now on YouTube. You can watch. Go to our YouTube channel at OMD Pod and keep on getting in touch. We love hearing from you. You can email us at hello@omdpods.com. And of course, follow on Instagram at OMDPod. Sarah's always posting the best dog content up there. Keep sending us your voice notes.
And don't forget to give us a 5-star review wherever you get your podcasts too. And remember, a dog is for life, not just for podcasts.